Hello everyone, little Miss Miri here is going to help me compare the advanced tie between Bandai and fine molds. Right, Miri? Yeah? You can help? Or do you want to see what an army man is? You got an army man? Nope. Okay. I don't know how much help she's going to be, but she's here for a little bit. So I'll be back in a bit. I got to get everything set up and ready. Alright everyone, first up are these two. The Tie Advanced from Fine Molds and Bandai. I don't know if I'm going to tear parts off Sprue. I'm going to hold Sprue next to each other to show you what's going on. And we're going to compare details and whatnot. I know there's some issues here that 1/72 from one company is not necessarily 1/72 from the other. Okay? I am going to take things out of bags though. Have no fear of that. The first thing I want to do is get the Darth Vaders out. Because, you know, what's a Tie Advance without the pilot, so to speak. So let's open up the bag for the Bandai offering. And apparently I have a dull hobby knife because that didn't even tear on the line. Here we've got the evil Lord of the Sith himself from the Bandai line. And let's get it from the fine molds. Now one thing about this, I'm not afraid of mixing things up. You know why I'm not afraid of mixing things up? Bandai's lettering is not going to match fine molds. Fine molds is all in gray. Bandai is in color. So there's not going to be any mixing them up. Here's the sprue with the stand on it for fine molds. And the Bandai Darth Vader is not on the stand. So let's do this. Where's my remote control? Where did I put the remote? You think I would be prepared for this? We're burning pixels. We're burning pixels. Okay. Oh, that was wonky. Let's do it this way. That's tight enough right there, I think. Pardon me while I adjust frame. Okay, first off, they are about the same height. Okay? Very close to the same height. When you put them side by side. The cape looks better on the fine molds offering. But the Bandai offering, I don't know. I can't see awfulness out of either one, honestly. Now if we look at the sitting pilots, there's the fine molds. Let's put the Bandai on this side. The sitting pilots, however, I'm going to give that to Bandai. So right now, I think I'm giving the standing Vader to fine molds. Here, let me get some glasses on so I can see this just a little bit better. Okay, here's the deal. I can see them better. You guys can see them just fine on the screen you're looking at right there because we got a good magnification going. The fine molds Darth Vader head looks fat. The Bandai does not. The Darth Vader looks better here though than it does here. It looks flat right behind that cape. His legs look like they're part of the cape and here the legs don't. Of course the cape is covering it up, but it's got so much depth in there it looks better to me. Okay? Now when you look at the seated pilots, I know I'm off frame for a second. Again, Bandai's got a much better head on him. Don't focus on that. Focus on the... There we go, Mr. Camera. The Bandai's got a much better head on him than the fine molds. Again. And it's kind of hard because these are in a high polish, very shiny frame, whereas these are not. Detail-wise, I can't really fault either one for the detail. I do like the Darth Vader with his hand sticking out, though. A little bit better. And this guy's got... They got a very similar pose. The two standing figures. The rest of the sprue can be discarded because it's just stand pieces. So so we can put that away. Now, in the Darth Vader bag that he came out of, we don't have just stand pieces. Oh, on fine molds, yeah. I'm sorry, Bandai. Let's look at the Bandai stand. The fine mold stand is very different than the Bandai. The Bandai stand is a piece of tile from the Death Star. Okay? It's Star Wars based too. It wouldn't surprise me if Bandai starts selling these tiles. By the way, that's just kind of something they would do. It looks like the stand is going to allow the TIE Fighter to be posed in a variety of different positions, whereas the fine molds one will not. This is just kind of like the action base they would do. That's what this is looking like. It's looking very much like the action base. Another thing you get lasers. These lasers come out of the laser emitters on the TIE. Okay? And they're a nice fluorescent green color. Very strikingly fluorescent green. Okay? If I have some white paper to put on. Ooh, I happen to have some white paper right here. They will show up a lot better. Okay? As being how green they are. Isn't it funny how that color changes? Because the camera's trying to adjust the white balance. That's what the problem is. They're very, very fluorescent green. Okay, so there's the comparison contrast to the base. Which base do I prefer? You know, do I prefer this technical base that looks like it's all steel girders? Or do I prefer the action base? I tend to make my own bases anyhow, so no winner there. Alright? So right now we're split even. Fine molds, Bandai, Darth Vader's. I like the sitting Vader from fine molds better than Bandai. I like the sitting Vader from Bandai better than fine molds. But I like the standing Vader better from fine molds. That's personal preference, I hate this, I'm going to say. Okay, now, the rest of fine molds is simple. It is 2 sprue. Okay? So I'm going to pull these sprue out. And we do have a loose part in the sprue, and I know what that part's to after building the 1/48 tie. And we have another part that came loose, whatever that is. I'm not going to pull the canopy. The canopy here is one solid piece. It has paint mask with it, okay? And there's the decal sheet. The fine molds decals tend to be thick. I don't like them. Most of those are interior markings anyhow, which is a good thing, okay? But here's the sprue for the fine molds kit. Here's the missing piece goes. It's an interior part, okay? And here's the secondary sprue. I'm not sure where the other missing piece came from, because it doesn't look like a piece is missing off that. And there's only one. Oh, I see it. This piece is missing from right there. I know what that is now. That is the missing piece right here. That goes for this part right here. So let me zoom this out. I just realized you guys aren't seeing half of this. The camera zoomed in too tight. There we go. Here's the sprue for, again, the fine molds. It's got a nice grid pattern on the solar panels, heating panels, whatever you want to call them, cooling panels. And again, there's the body. Okay? 2 sprue, 2 loose parts. Let's go with Bandai. Now, the Bandai kit has 3 sprue, not 2. Okay? Which is different. It has 3 sprue and not 2. And some of the decals are coming out with it. These are the water slides from Bandai. They don't look as thick as the fine molds offering. They are colored to cover up to color correct parts. Yes, you have decals instead of paint, because they're trying to make this a no paint kit. Okay? You have stickers too. You have decals and you have stickers. And you may use whichever one you feel like on this kit. This is their sticker sheet. And this is the very thin sticker sheet. These aren't stickers like you would expect. They're very high quality. Okay? So we have our sticker sheet here. Here is the The interior is separate from the exterior on this. That's interesting. It has a big ball for the interior. Oh, there's a big difference. Here is the interior part for the fine molds. Here's the interior part for the Bandai. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the zoom back up so you can see the difference. Here's the interior parts for the Bandai. Here's what you get on the fine molds. Now on the fine molds you get decals. You get decals to put the triangular light patterns on this piece. You get decals for it. On Bandai they put the triangular spots there, but there are no decals. So if you want to put the marks on there, you're marking them yourself. Okay? Here's the big departure, and this is going to be really easy to show you guys. This is where the problems come in. So let's start with these pieces, because they're on similar sprue. Alright, there's the Bandai piece. It has the part molded into it. The interior part around the front here is on a different piece. It is right here. Okay? On the fine molds offering, you can see the part, it is part of the front. Now, can anyone tell me what's different here? Can you see them? Oh, I gotta zoom out just a teeny bit. I have the zoom just a little too tight. Can anyone see what the problem is? The edges are lined up. Look. You guys see what the problem is? You guessed it, the Bandai kit is much larger than the fine molds kit. Much larger. Much, much larger. Okay? It's not only with the cockpit ball, but also with the rear wing. Oh yeah, it's about an inch wider. It's kind of hard to put them side by side. Oh, there we go. We probably can get them side by side right there. It's about an inch wider. Okay, the bottom one, this one is the fine molds kit. No, that's the Bandai. The top one's the fine molds. Can you see the difference there? Big difference. And the Bandai has details on it. Well, they both have different amount of detail on them. I'm looking at the wrong part. I'm comparing two different parts. You can't do that. There we go. Now we're comparing bottoms. Okay? So this one is the fine molds. This one's the Bandai. Okay? And Bandai right here. Fine molds right here. You can see we got some insert details. Details aren't too bad along here. Panel lines are good. Now we look at this one. The insert details are different. Panel lines are better. It looks a little better to me. Okay. And it is larger. And larger helps them do a better job of the details. You can see the difference in the details. Right there and right there. Just pause your computer if you want to take a good close look. You can see the difference in the details. Now if we look at the top part, compare the two tops. There's Bandai. There's fine molds. The Bandai looks a little better. Again, it's a larger ship, so they can get away with that. Okay? Here, let's compare the nose sections. Okay? Fine molds. Bandai. Now look at the inserts in here. The inserts in here look a lot better than these do. Okay? These are nowhere near as strong as these. And again, in part, that is because this is a bit larger than this one. Okay? Even though the Darth Vaders are the same size. Now, supposedly, Bandai was scanning the original studio model with a laser scanner, and fine molds did not. So that might account for some of these differences. Most of the details are incredibly similar. It just looks a little bit better on the Bandai kit. I've got to give it that. It looks a little bit better on the Bandai kit. Okay? Now let's look at these parts right here. Let's see if I can find the exterior on the fine. Oh, no. Can't get the exterior. These are the interior pieces. Okay. Interior piece. Let's turn it so they're orientated the same way. This right here is the Bandai kit. We're looking at the wings right now. This. That's the Bandai kit. And then we get the fine molds. Okay. The Bandai kit has better detail. The details are definitely different on the Bandai kit than the fine molds kit. There's definitely some difference there. Again, it might be due to the larger scale. I don't know which one's more accurate because I have not built one of these before and dwelled upon the photos like I did the TIE Fighter. If you did a TIE Fighter, I could tell you the differences real quick because I tore into the TIE Fighters. I could tell you which one's right and which one's not. But the Advanced TIE, no, I can't necessarily tell you which one's correct. I do know the Bandai kit has better detail right there compared to right there. I do know that. Okay. Interior pieces, let's get to that next. Because the fine molds interior is very sparse. You have the floor plate, the back wall with the reactor cover. You have the various little pieces. We're missing part of the control yoke. And then we have the two interior parts right there and right here. Okay? Let's look at the Bandai kit now. On the Bandai kit for the interior, I don't know if that's an interior part or not. I don't think so. I know that's an interior part right there. There is no ribbed floor on this interior part. Okay? But what you do get is you get this thing. That I had to do on photo etch on the fine molds 1/48. Here's the control yoke for the Bandai kit. And it looks better. Of course, it is gluing to the back of this. Okay? But it looks a lot better to me. The lasers and the Bandai kit look exactly like some of the laser photos I found online for the regular tie. The lasers for the fine molds kit, let's see if I can find those real quick. All right, here. They're tiny. There's absolutely no way of replicating those somehow or another. You're stuck with those the way they are. Okay? I have to figure out what part 18 is because I don't see equivalent of part 18, this, anywhere on the fine molds kit. And it wouldn't surprise me if that is the back of the cockpit. No, there's the cockpit. And if you look at the back of the cockpit, you have the reactor cover. You have the detail that I had to add with photo etch on the 1/48 tie. It's already there on the back wall. Okay? So right now, I'm thinking the Bandai kit is just kicking the fine mold tiny. You want to know the truth. There's detail here that is missing. These drop boxes. If you look at this hatch, there's drop boxes on this. The fine molds kit hatch, well, it's right there. It's clear. So you can paint it. You can't see it through the plastic. But it doesn't have the detail that this has. I'm not going to pull it out of the plastic. I'm going to leave clear parts sealed in their little baggies so they're protected. Okay? All in all, I am finding the Bandai offering is much stronger than the fine molds. Because again, here's fine molds. Here's the little ports that go on the back of the ship for the ion engines. Let's see if we can find them on the fine molds. On the fine molds, they're already there. We have the reactor cover latches are here. Let me move this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. The reactor port hatches are here, 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 and here. And on the fine molds kit, well, they are on there, but they are very, very weak. Okay, and again, that might be just part of the scale issue. There's a huge difference in scale on the fine molds kit than there is the Bandai kit. Now, I've been saving one part for last. Right now, I'm just saying Bandai is better. The multicolor sprue. And saving this for last. Because this is one piece of work here. Okay, let's set the Bandai aside. Over here, another Bandai sprue. Again, there's more Bandai sprue than fine molds. The part count is higher. Here's our fine molds. Here's our exterior piece right here. Okay? And you are gluing these parts into this. And you can see there's the detail along there. And you're gluing those into this piece. Okay? Now let's look at the Bandai offering. Okay? This is not paint. This is molded. Okay? This is black and gray plastic molded together at the same time. You can see it over here. They have both plastics coming together at the same time. Okay? Yeah, that's going to be a bugger if you want to paint it. But it looks so good, I'm hesitant to paint it. That's the bad part. It really does look good. There'll be a little bit of touch-up painting. Matching this gray will be hard. The problem is, on the back side, you can see it. The black had to get in there somehow, and you can see where the black went through where the gray is. Okay? But, overall, and they do give you a clear canopy, and Bandai also gives you a gray canopy. You have your choice of glass in, glass out. You have two. You can mask and paint that. You can decal that. Or you can just put this one in. And the same with the top hatch. No glass in the top hatch. You have a glass top hatch you can paint. Okay? On the fine molds kit, you don't have that offering. You don't have that choice. So getting back to this, here's another thing I'm noticing. The wing lengths. They are shorter. Because again, wow, are they shorter. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here, you can see it here. No, they're... Yeah, you can see it here. If I put them together, the front parts are together right there. Let's get on. That's the end. You can see the front parts are together. They are much shorter on the fine molds kit. Okay? This part right here, I call it the chess piece because it always reminds me of the checker piece. Look at the difference on the Bandai. It's much more raised. It is thicker. It looks better. Yeah, I'm giving Bandai hands down much better on these wings. They look good enough. I don't know if I'd want to paint them. There's some mold marks in here for the heat curing of the plastic was stressed a little bit. It is on this one too. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see this. Ah, wow, that's another one. The black is ABS plastic, the gray is styrene. Heh. Bandai always labels their ABS plastic ABS. Okay, you build this kit, I'm going to tell you something. Take the black, sprue, primer it, paint it. You want to be careful of this ABS. I've heard reports from a few Gundam builders that the ABS wouldn't take primer at one point. I think Bandai fixed that. So I would still, if you're going to paint this, I would take some primer off to the side and do some primer on it. Okay, I want to say I've gone through everything and looked over all the pieces. The Bandai kit has quite a few more sprue to it. It is a much larger model. Parts count, I'm not sure without actually counting them. I'm not going to count them tonight. I'm not sure without actually counting them. But the Bandai kit looks like it has better detail. It's a little larger. I don't know which one's correct on the scale. Don't know. Not without getting a ruler out and doing some calculations. Okay? But from what I can tell from looking at the Bandai kit, well, there's one last part to look at. This is the bottom hatch. That's the bottom hatch. A very, very different looking. There's just enough differences in here that I want to say the Bandai kit is superior. Not by much, just a little bit. And they could be pulling it off just by the bigger scale. They give a more complete interior. I know that. And the interior is more screen accurate. So it makes me believe the rest of it's more accurate too. I know the interior on the Fine Mold kit is not accurate in the least bit. So there you go. Let me pull the camera up to me. Because I know some of you have been wanting to see this. And it's taken me a while to get to it. Sorry. Life has been full of a lot of fun as of late. Okay? An awful lot of fun. Oh, not tall enough yet. That should do it. You're getting my chin now. Life has been full of a lot of fun as of late. We are moving on. Everything goes to plan. We're moving on Friday, and today is Sunday. You're going to watch this on Monday. So, I'm not building anything for at least 2 weeks. I'm pretty much shut down. Internet might be iffy. That's why I'm trying to get these reviews done the next day or two and get them up. Because if everything goes according to plan, we're moving on Friday. That means no internet for a few days. Okay? So I might as well get prepared for that. And I like how Bandai individually bags most of their sprue. No scratching, no denting. Fine Molds doesn't do that. Now I've heard there's a lot of differences in the TIE Fighter too. I'm going to try to get the TIE Fighter video done. It won't get done tomorrow. I've got too much going on to get that done tomorrow. So it'll probably get done Tuesday and be uploaded on Wednesday. I can squeeze 10-15 minutes out of my time to do that. Okay? So we'll get the TIE Fighter video done very soon. It's funny, I can tell which bag came from which company as soon as I pick it up too. The Fine Molds bag is very, very soft. The Bandai bag is not. Very soft plastic. The Bandai bags are brittle plastic. So right now, what I'm going to tell you guys basically is this. The Fine Molds kit, nice kit. Don't get me wrong. Comes with paint masks for the windows. The decals, well, what little I've done with their decal work, I'm not a fan of. Okay? They're about the same price right now. This one's probably going to get expensive over time, simply because it's the last of a breed. The Bandai kit is 20 bucks on Hobby Link Japan. I'm sure it's 30 on other sites, simply because of shipping from Japan. It's expensive, and you got to pay for it. Okay? If I was to pick, I'd pick this one. I'm picking this one, the winner of the two. Just looks to be a much better model. If you've built any Gundam models as of late, you know Bandai knows what they're doing with Gundam models. And you know they have the technical know-how to make a good model. Because some of those Gundam models are just crazy in their engineering. Just crazy. So up next, in a few days, will be the comparison between this one and this one. And I've heard this one has 100 and something parts in the box. Crazy amount of parts. Well, wouldn't surprise me. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprue in this box. So that would not surprise me. Whereas this box has 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got a lot of parts too, but the other one's got more parts. Okay? This one has a far more extensive decal sheet. I will say that for the Fine Molds. So that comparison's coming up next. Okay? And one thing, it says Disney on the box. So you know they got a current agreement. I will be back with the TIE Fighter, the X-Wing soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you liked the detailed comparison. I'll talk to all of you later. Bye.